Hi YouTube, this is Joe Calton with Calton Cutlery, and visit me on the web, caltoncutlery.com. Okay, so the last video was, I'll probably title it Tube Mycarta, at home or something like that. I was going to leave that as a standalone video, but I got back to the shop after lunch and a little bit of work outside the shop, and I thought, you know what, it's been like 2 or 3 hours. So let's go ahead and demold this thing, strip our mold all the way apart, and then see if our material, the 2 different colored jute cord micarta, see if it turned out. So first off, remember me telling you that the cup of leftover epoxy or automotive body resin would melt. There it is. It was that, now it's that. So, like I said, one of these days I'm actually gonna, put a laser thermometer on some of this when it's melting like that and see just what kind of temperature that it gets to. But it's, well, it's hot enough to melt that. And the bottom of it is nice and stiff, but it's got a little bit of give to it, which means that it should be about the right time to demold this. So this is kind of an exciting part. We get to see if all our work, if it turned out okay. Which honestly, most of the work involved in doing this is figuring out how you want to do your mold, and then especially with this tin can right here, figuring out how to do it quickly, repeatably, and hopefully with as little mess as possible. So we're just gonna, open this right up, or take the clamp off. Now that'll probably, came off pretty easy. Now this we're done with. There's the bottom of the can. We could use that again, I guess. Now remember me telling you, that because this can caught the overflow that came out the top. And then it, came down and then just pooled up here. So we've got a fairly stiff, that's probably 3/4 of an inch, thick there. Now in the past, what I've done is, to start with, I would just go ahead and take that and then knock it off with a hammer, like this. But what we're going to do this time, because that does kind of grab fairly good on there, let's see if we can't play with a little bit different way. Take that clamp off. Clamp this up to where it's just kind of grabbing the tube a little bit. Not too hard, because we don't really want to distort the tube, and we're going to get safety glasses. Because this stuff right here, even though, like I said, it's got a little bit of give to the surface, it's still fairly brittle, and it likes to shatter. Once it's cured all the way, a lot of that will kind of go away, and especially the actual material that we're making. It's not just straight resin like this is. Well, this thing is the twine. So it's resin impregnated twine. So while little bits of it might be kind of brittle, the twine will kind of tend to help hold it together. So let's go ahead and give this a couple of taps. Nope, so that didn't work very well. But it did pop this stuff off, so you can kind of see what it looks like. And this stuff, boy, that stuff's really sharp. Not sharp like a knife, but I think it would cut you if you got it in the wrong spot, or, heaven forbid, it goes up into your eyeball. Okay, so now we got the whole bottom part clean, so now we'll see if we can't get this, get the PVC out of there. And we'll get that sharp edge off right there. That way it's not trying to dig into my hands when I'm doing the rest of this. And remember, this tube has been through this. This is its 4th time. So it's starting to get a little on the crusty side. You know, because I didn't clean off all the resin in between each time. So that's not wanting to come out there like that. So if we can kind of get the edges of this on there. That'll kind of start getting the tube out. I think this is going to be the last time I use this piece of tube. Because like I said, it's starting to get kind of crusty and kind of beat up. So now the problem is that we need to get just the edges of the aluminum tube on the jaws of the vise here. And it's not. It's going the wrong way. And this one is going to make a mess, I think. The last couple of times, this part right here, the plastic, oh there we go, the plastic just came right out. There we go. Okay, so now we got the plastic part out. Now we can really start kind of hammering on it. The only problem is if we hammer this, you know, if we beat up the tube too much, then we'll kind of deform it, and then it will you know, stop the rest of it from coming. So if I was to squeeze this down, then we couldn't really push it through that way. So what I've been doing in the past, now I've been doing this over on the anvil. Actually, let's do this on the anvil, because the anvil, not only is it a great thing to pound steel on, there, but it's also a great spot to pound anything else on. So I'm going to be holding on to this, okay? So if I'm holding this, then it won't get deformed. And then this part right here will hit that, you know, that first metal spacer that we got. And then my left hand will just kind of hold it all together for it to hit the anvil. And we deform that. Hang on a second. We'd kind of mushroomed out the end of it from a couple of mishits. Boy, this one's really giving us fits here. Okay, well I'm going to stop you until we get it figured out. Okay, I'm back. So I kind of hammered the heck out of that thing. Was finally able to get it started, and just grabbed a piece of round stock from the anvil stand, and it looks like it's going to finish coming out. So this piece of material is about twice as long as the last one, so it's got a whole lot more grip. What a mess, huh? Okay. So, a couple things here. One is this tube, each time that I used it, the inside got a little bit more, you know, gooped up, kind of nasty, all that kind of stuff. And probably scratches from, you know, this thing going in and out of it when I was hammering the other pieces out. So I need to go ahead and get the other spacer out of here, and then the other spacer is on the floor of the shop over there somewhere. But so that tube, that's the last time I'll use that. So maybe you get 2 or 3 uses out of it and not 4. But here's our material. That is pretty neat looking. And it looks to me, I don't really see any air bubbles in there, and I don't see any spots where the twine didn't take all of the resin. See, like on this piece right here, you can see little bits and pieces. I think this was on the bottom, where it didn't quite get enough resin, but on the edges and on the ends you kind of expect that. But see, this one doesn't have, maybe that's a little spot that maybe not, but that's a good looking piece of material there. In fact, let me throw it on a 220. Well, here, I'll come with you, or you can come with me. We'll throw it on this 220 grit belt right quick. Now, I'm not going to throw on a respirator for something this fast. Okay. Yeah, that looks really good. Get something sharp and pokey here. Yeah, those pieces of twine got pretty well soaked through. There's, you know, the point of the knife won't go in very easy. So that's going to be some pretty nice material there. Now I'm going to have to find something to make with it. So, again, the cups, you know, your leftover cup, I would leave that on your bench top, you know, and make sure that it finishes going through whatever reaction that it's going to go through, and that it's cold to the touch before you throw it in your garbage can. I really don't think that, I mean, it was sitting, you know, it was sitting on newspaper, and that newspaper's not charred or burned or anything like that, so yeah, I'd leave it out of the trash can until it finished running through its cycle and was cold. And then apparently these things right here, you can only use them a certain number of times. I was really kind of shocked that I got more than one use out of that tube. And I'm probably going to have to play around with using PVC as a mold instead of the aluminum tube. Another idea I came across while I was trying to find something that would work is these tomato juice cans, or tomato paste cans. They're kind of a narrow can. And then I just had a block of, it was probably a table leg or something at some point, and it fit down in there with enough wiggle room that I think as this was pushing down, some air bubbles would come up and some of the extra resin would come out. And so with this, you would just you'd have your clamp there. Now if you if you had something down below to catch all the extra epoxy, then you could just do it like this. If you didn't, then you just get a progressively larger can, put that in the bottom of it, and then squeeze right down. And you wouldn't need the top and the bottom piece because the bottom of the can is enclosed. So that right there would be your entire mold. And something like that I think would work out really good because you'd take your ram out when you were done, and then the can, if it stuck to it, who cares? Just throw it away or peel it off of your peel it off of your finished workpiece, and it'd be a use once and throw it away. And you're going to use these in the kitchen anyway. So again, I'm pretty excited for the new this new little bit of material here, plus the other one for the project that I'm working on, and the molding of this micarta in much smaller batches that are a lot closer to the finished shape that you're going to need for whatever project it is. Yeah, I'm going to have to play around with this and just take a little bit closer, just play with it some more. This is the stuff, I don't know if I showed this in the other video, Bondo fiberglass resin. You get this at Walmart. Honestly, I can't remember what it cost, and probably I'd be wrong anyway. I want to say something like this should cost like 10-15 bucks, but as fast as inflation keeps rising, heck, it might be 20 or 30 by now, who knows. So again, this is Joe Calton with Calton Cutlery, and visit me on the web, caltoncutlery.com. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you next time.